Yes. Okay. So, hello everyone, all my friends out there, and hello to our guests who are already here. We welcome you to our live session on the third day of Navras. Navras, yani Navras, 9 flavors. And all these flavors of love, laughter, peace, joy, compassion, joy, and sorrow are deeply embedded in our lives, in our art, culture, and literature. A very thoughtful vision and a program visualized by Manoj Krishnan, founder of ALS. And I applaud him for all this. Let's give him a little clap. So life is laced both with sorrows and joy. As we celebrate this program, Navras, we are also saddened by the untimely demise of Dr. H.K. Kaul, director, Delnet, and founder of Poetry Society, India. We, on behalf of the entire ALS team, pay our heartfelt homage to him.
That's true.
Yes. You will be remaining alive in spirit in everybody's heart, Mr. Kaul. Rest in peace. So today, I'm Kiran Babel, and I'm hosting this program for today. And I share this platform with two esteemed guests, Mr. Amarendra Khatua ji and Mr. Yuyutsu Sharma ji from Nepal. I welcome both of you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Amarendra Khatua is the former ambassador of India to Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay at Government of India. He is a rare combination of poetry, diplomacy, and trade. And in his course of life, he has bagged many awards, especially the Rajiv Gandhi Award, and has been nominated as the world's most powerful ambassador by ABC World. I welcome you, sir, once again. And a recipient of fellowship and grants from the Rockefeller Foundation and many other prestigious organizations. Yuyutsu Sharma ji is the world-renowned Himalayan poet and a translator. He travels the world over, conducts creative writing workshops at various universities in North America and Europe, and loves to go trekking when he's back in his hometown, the Himalayas. Currently, Mr. Sharma is visiting poet at Columbia University. I welcome you, sir, on this show.
Thank you.
So, as our topic for our conversation today is the modern South Asian literature, before I come to this, I would just like to say that India has been a rich nation with its oral tradition of storytelling that has been handed down through, uh, through art and culture to many generations below. Our sacred granthas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, Vedas, have formed strong roots and foundations to our rich cultural system. So today, in this topic of our modern South Asian literature, I pose this question to both of my guests. Amarendra ji, can you please give a brief glimpse of our modern South Asian literature and your perspective towards it, followed by to Mr. Yuyutsu Sharma ji.
Yes, we have limited time.
Yes.
Let me be brief. When we are talking about South Asian literature, there is nothing called pan-South Asian literature. We write in 25 languages and 80 dialects. We publish in these. There are many other languages and dialects. And in South Asian countries, every year we almost publish 48,000 literary volumes. We have 17,000 literary journals, 67,000 literary organizations and e-bodies. But surprise is the only Nobel Prize winner in South Asia is same Kavi Guru Rabindranath Tagore. It is the first
Yes,
point.
yes, yes.
Second point is We are not putting down South Asian literature or the literary map down. This is to state that there is a need to really value it, propagate it, promote it, and sell our literature, like Professor Sharma is doing in Nepal. And third is, whenever you see South Asian writer published in English, they are much more widely known than the regional writers. Say a regional writer in Urdu, if you go to the world literary map, ask how many eminent Urdu writers they know, very few, absolutely very few. So for example, you talk about Amitabh Ghosh, they will say yes, he is the contender for Nobel Prize. But talk about Premchand, they would not know. Then third is, this is a very good effort by Asian Literary Society, but South Asian literature is so big, so huge that Professor Sharma and me will take days to talk about it. But we'll be brief really. Uh, what has happened is today's trend, the modern trend of South Asian literature, which we'll talk about individual things after our presentation, except that is written in English, are basically threefold. The literature reflects the traditional life, traditional way people live in South Asia. Second is life of the immigrants, which is much more reflected in English writing. And third is politics of society, family, belongingness, and imagery of the past history, where the importance of the rich literary heritage of South Asia matters. I will not discuss much about India because everybody knows about it.
Yes.
Uh, but the point is that when we say we never know about Indian literature, again we know that through English. We talk about regional literature. Who is the current top writer in Telugu? Who is the best young woman writer in Northeast? If you can tell. So I'll stop here. This is basic introduction that there is nothing called pan-Asian literature. Second, there are lots of regional languages, lots of dialects in which we write. Third is those who write in English, they have lots of acceptability. There is need to translate and propagate the regional language, regional writing.
Yes. Thank you, Amarendra Khatua ji. And now I will ask our guest, Mr. Yuyutsu Sharma, to share his views on the glimpses of our modern South Asian literature and his perspective towards it.
Thank you, Kiran. And Amarendra has, thank you, Amarendra, for this very lovely introduction to the whole subject, because he's touched upon very serious matters, the soft, core of the very core of South Asian problem of South Asian literature as an identity or as an entity. I think that if you search South Asian literature, most of what comes out is all these English writers who don't even stay in India or in South Asia. So in the West, South Asian literature is being looked upon as writing written by immigrant writers in diaspora who are not in India or Nepal or Bengal. So these are the writers who are being flouted as South Asian writers, which is such contradiction. South Asia, as you know, Nepal, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, these, and within India also, the little literatures that are being written in Malayalam, Punjabi, Kannada, Oriya. So these literatures have history that goes back before the British colonial rule. So it is we have to look at that and the roots that they have, their own roots, like especially poetry, as it is invested in these cultural traditions, as opposed to these few handful of writers writing in English being flouted as the core of, and these little literatures would never ever be known in the world at large. Like Premchand would never be known as Tagore or even his modern day counterparts. I'm surprised because there's a big colonial thing in this. When the British came, and with the whole influence of the upper class Indians and upper class South Asians, I was reading that I was in London, and I was looking at that Tagore in that time went to London, lost his manuscript in subway, in tube. I mean,
Hmm.
imagine, my father was somewhere in the dark jungles of Punjab or Himachal. He was trying to
Uh-huh.
struggle for a life. My
Yeah,
grandfather.
yeah.
At that time, this man was traveling all over, and
Yes,
and no wonder he made friendships. He forged. Uh,
yes.
so, and then there are other writers who are known now, especially like
Yes,
Vikram Seth and Salman Rushdie. I mean, these are the people of upper class Indians, the
yes,
children of upper
yes,
Indians. And we,
yes.
as a local or a middle class or lower middle class people, never had an access to this world except
Hmm.
little English that we knew. So
Yes.
and even now that is being perpetuated at the play of these multinational uh, publishers and companies who come and flout these writers as the only essence of South Asian or Asian literature. So this is the paradox, and this is a kind of quite a farce that's being played. No matter how strong Nepalese or Indian or Punjabi or Oriya writers are,
Yeah.
they never ever get to this is
The
like
recognition.
how you say like with this Indian film star's death. They're talking about nepotism and all that. This my very much in Indian literature as well, or South Asian literature, and same
Yes.
in other countries in China or in say Latin America. So it's the whole business of having contacts and going out, which I have been successful in doing it because and
Hmm.
I would say because of internet. I would never ever
Yes.
see, and I will never ever be able to travel those that much and be part of this big international family. If because these
Yes.
upper class, the elite will never ever let me go anywhere because I was
Hmm.
my father didn't know anything of this sort all the connections. So it's a very tricky area. And if you now you search Google South Asian literature,
Yes.
most of the writers they will show up are these who are already well known, and the big writing,
Hmm.
these big little literature that are being written at the moment are sidelined and ignored as kind of regional, kind of nice people, and they should be loved and translated. And even if they are translated, nobody really cares. So
Nobody.
it's a very sad state.
Okay. Okay. That was really, I mean, it is sad because India has got many, many writers. I mean, even the neighboring countries also, they have a lot of writers. They need the right channel to get recognition, which many of us do not find at times. So, uh, coming back to Mr. Amarendra Khatwaji, um, uh, what do you think is the impact of modern South Asian literature on the global platform?
Uh, See, I like Professor Sharma. I love grassroots literature because it reflects the social reality. When we are talking about global impact, already he has said that. So for example, you talk about Pakistan.
Yes.
Pakistan has very strong published English writers, eight, nine of them.
Yes.
So for example, Sonia Kamal, the
Uh-huh.
or like Mohsin Hamid, Fatima Asghar, Kamila Samsi, Hanif
Hmm.
Qureshi, Nabi Aslam, Muhammad Hanif. These are all published in UK and
Yeah.
hugely
Okay.
successful.
Hmm.
They have been nominated by Booker, they have got many awards. But who knows the current writers, Baluchi and Urdu writers? See, there is a
Yeah.
terrific writer. I'll tell you like he's Muhammadur Rahman. Uh,
Hmm.
one of his poems are like this. Every time I change the road, a corner comes. That corner does not belong to me, does not belong to South Asia, but everybody tells it this is belongs to the mullah from Pakistan only.
Hmm.
This is very powerful, but we always
Yeah.
think that Urdu poem is all about like love, all about like missing the same old tradition. There are lots of modern writers. So this
Yeah.
is Pakistan. You talk about like Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has a
Hmm.
terrific tradition of regional literature, both in Sinhala and Tamil. Like,
Yes.
say, for example, in Sri Lanka, Nilavanam, the Tamil writer, it's huge. He writes so powerful. Few like Professor Sharma and in that country, he has been translated, but not much. In Simalis also, like we are talking about W. Silva, Cyril Kodikara, Siri Gunosinghe, these are huge names. But most of them are not known outside Sri Lanka. Who are known?
Yeah.
Or again,
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Ondaatje, the world well published, Rosie Fernando, Sunil Yapa, they are all English writers. Therefore, two things. Many
Mm.
people know about India, or many people know
Yes.
about South Asian countries globally. But
Mm.
through literature, how many know? Very few. Because
Very
what I'm writing about, my immigrant experience in a foreign country, or
okay.
my political history, or what is happening here, or culturally how I'm changing for an audience. One
Mm.
way that brings our literature to the global stage, but not the right kind of literature, as Professor Thomas.
Mm. Yes. 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 So, so what do you think then? Okay, I'll come back to you again on this. Yuyutsu Sharma ji, you are known as a famous Himalayan poet. So, how do you see this connect of South Asian literature in coordination with India and Nepal and vice versa?
Yeah, this is very interesting because these Nepal as a nation itself is a nation born out of the breath of poet. One of the poets, Bhanu Bhattacharya,
Hmm.
who wrote Ramayana, the Nepali version of Ramayana,
Yes.
and that became the basic language on the basis of which the kings of Nepal could amalgamate and could unify these small little principalities and
Hmm.
make Nepal as a nation. Without Nepali language, there will be no Nepal nation. So
Yeah.
poets, the nation Nepal has come out of the breath of this poet, the great poets and
Hmm.
writers. Out of their breaths,
Hmm.
the nation has come out. Similar in India, I mean, in India, not to consider the British or other invasions, if you look at how the poetry and arts and the literature has unified India, Indian literature, and in little literatures in different parts of India. So the thing is that this was what was our essence. Poetry was our essence, and poetry remains our essence. But with the over few decades, like 4 or 5 decades, with the invasion of these multinational, publishers and
Hmm.
the idea of a great novel, big
Hmm.
fiction, a multinational, kind of writer has actually eroded the very life and breadth of these little literatures, especially poetry. People think writing poetry is like a funny job. But
Hmm.
poetry even now exists in little pockets of little known areas of little languages, Malayalam, Kannada, Punjabi,
Okay.
Nepali,
Yes.
Oriya.
Yes.
So this,
Hmm.
but and this has perpetuated with the invasion or with the as these multinationals came to India in
Yes.
4 or 5 decades ago, and now everybody's and even the poets stop writing and they say, "Oh, I'm writing this big novel, I'm writing this big book, and this
Hmm.
I'm getting $1 million advance," which is farce. It's just a
Yeah.
commercial thing. It has nothing to do with
So
the life matter. Poetry as
everybody is firing towards the commercial part of it now.
it has nothing to do with the writing. The
Mm.
basic the writing as a living phenomena that existed centuries before before even before British came or even So this has caused a lot of strife even in Nepal, a small nation in Nepal. Everybody is now nobody wants to write poetry. Everybody wants to write a big novel, and they imitate these big writers in America or Europe who are being
Mm.
imitated in the third class fashion in India, and now the fourth class version of these big names are being flouted as authentic, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Writing
Yes. Yes.
literature, writing poetry was a very, very modest thing. Being part of the
Yes.
community, you didn't get
Yes.
paid, you didn't do anything. It was a way of life. But now
Yes.
everything has changed over the decades. So which is very threatening and which is very I go to New York and I have this big family of like poets and writers, and we live in London or in as I see in small pockets or in LA. Probably they have, I mean, with the Beats and Allen Ginsberg, they have overcome this kind of invasion of these blockbusters and multinational books smashing the shelves, which is crazy. This whole idea of literature as a commercial entity is a dangerous proposition. It erodes a very
Yes.
grassroots level of this, and this is maneuvered by elites in India and Nepal, which is
Hmm.
crazy. In South Asia, the elites who know English, who have access to the outside world, and in Delhi or Mumbai, they manipulate it, and they
Yeah.
don't they are the best writers. They are this is a very awful phenomenon. And I wondered what happened. And so those who have a say, they have a very tightly held this whole thing, and the
Okay.
parts of it. So that's the stuff. Something.
So that means this, what we are talking about, this literature is just the tip of the iceberg. The mainstream people are yet to get connected with it. So, Mr. Khatwaji, how would you think that it can be channelized to bridge this gap, where even small, it can go to the remote areas of India and the diaspora in our neighboring
As
countries too.
Professor said, there is no pan South Asian literature. There is no pan Indian literature. So
Mm.
when we talk about Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are different. They are reference
They are
to.
different. Yes, yeah, yes.
What he said is exactly same thing is happening all over South Asia. Two, three things are required. One, always we depend on government for promotion of literature.
Hmm.
Or vice versa, what has happened is that uh, the cyber pockets are supposed to propagate literature.
Hmm.
Time has come for three things. One, we have like strong regional literature base in all the South Asian countries. Why can't we have professional translation base? Russia market was very difficult to translate. With
Hmm.
each of
Yes.
his book, you can get in translation.
Hmm.
Similarly, Maria Vargas Llosa, like all the big Nobel Prize winners from Latin America, they have been translated very well. And South Asia needs to build this up instead of promoting that 10 people can go and travel different countries to talk about their
Hmm.
country's literature.
Their work.
Instead of
Hmm.
that, translate it.
Hmm.
Regular translation module. And
Hmm.
second, what you used to say, uh, commercialization or seeing big dreams is fine. Starting movements, for example, Nepal. Nepal has much more literary movements started by people than many South Asian countries. You have Lila writing, you have third dimension, you have all kinds of experimentation. Those are fine. But for the heritage, now the time has come, you have to write literature like it will live within you first, then reach the reader. Third is, we have very good Sahitya academies. Bangladesh has, Sri Lanka has. In like SARC, time has come, SARC should have a literary part. This literary part not to talk, not to discuss. What it will do? It will promote good literature. It will
Okay.
translate good literature. It will
Hmm.
prepare compendiums of writers. It will
Hmm.
recognize regional writers who are writing in regional languages and dialects. Third part is that the link, what we have done here. Say you are talking to me, Professor Sharma in Nepal. What we are
Hmm.
talking about, that
Hmm.
literature survives everybody. But if you
Yes.
expect overnight that literature will bring revolution, literature will change your capitalist mode of society, forget about that. Sheer creativity must be respected. Within that framework, we must come back to the South Asian.
So that means we need to get connected with each other, with each other's literature, and translate each other's literature so that it is easily accessible and reachable to us and
Yes,
them
we
also.
both criticize lots of cultural events or literary events which are being
Hmm.
organized by different people,
Yes.
but still
Hmm.
it makes people meet. make people talk among each other,
Yes.
South Asian writers.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
for
Yes.
example, when
Hmm.
Professor Sharma came to Professor Kaul was he organized his reading. Lots of people
Hmm.
are there. They enjoyed it.
Hmm.
The Himalayan
Yes.
literature.
Yes, 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 yes. So when you propose, we must have more of these get-togethers where the reading is to be inculcated of different neighboring countries as well.
Outreach, interlinkage, translation, and
Yeah,
building of a awareness base in South Asia itself.
a relationship. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, Yuyutsu Sharma ji, uh, would you like to talk about any book that has influenced you or that like you would like to mention about for our readers over here who can pick up and read from Nepal and the neighboring countries?
Yeah, I think I like one poet in Nepal very much. His name is, he's no more there. He passed away many years ago, but his name is Gopal Prasad Vimal, a very powerful
Oh,
poet. He was the one who was pioneer in the modern Nepal. He's the one who started the prose poems, and he was the one who initiated the democratic movement, and he was a pretty much active part of democracy in Nepal. He in those despotic Rana times, he he read poems, he wrote poems against these rulers who were very cruel, and then they came to know of him, and they put him in prison, and then he became so upset, and they sent him to Banaras or to uh, Ranchi, I think, and where he was, the doctors were crazy. They pulled a rib out of his back, thinking he's crazy. So he will focus
oh,
on the pain and not about the poetry or other stuff that he was talking about. He came back and died limping in the streets of Kathmandu. He is the father of modern Indian Nepali literature. And
okay.
I admire, I have translated some of his poems in a book called Rolling Recitals. Five Nepali poets. I translated five
Mhm.
important poets. So, and I do this magazine Pratik, in which I publish a
Yes.
lot of Nepali poets
Mm,
and Indian poets, and
mm.
Mr. Khatwa has
Yes.
been there, and
Sorry,
source
I
of
could
Indian.
not I could not describe all the profile of yours because of the time.
Yeah, yeah. No,
There's a
it's
long
all right.
list
So, and we are
of
doing
yours
this
and Dr. Khatwa's.
because of the pandemic. The magazine is being a little bit delayed, two issues behind,
Mm,
because I have
mm.
not been able to do anything because we are all stuck in this place. But the next issue is on LA, and after that we will going to bring an issue on India and an issue on Nepal, a special issue. And especially I'm working on an issue on India, and we have an issue on China, an issue on all these other countries, Argentina. So it's a special kind of journal that focuses on different parts of the world. So I'm thinking this poet is very important. I think something should be done about this poet, and I always
Okay.
promote his work. He's a very important poet. He's the one who
Okay.
ushered modernism,
Okay.
like
That
like
is
Walt Whitman.
that is one reason why we have organized this program Navras for and inviting members like you for this interaction of and cross country boundaries also. So, Khatwaji, what advice you would like to impart to our modern day writers and poets?
See, poets and writers, they hate advice. But because everybody thinks he or she is creative, original, and great. But two things
Mm,
that to be a true writer, a true poet, you must understand how your writing is going to influence your way into the world. That is one.
mm, mm,
Two, uh, without imagining that you are creating a worldview through somebody's eye, what is your own experience, your life is being reflected to the literature you are creating.
mm.
As I said, there are lots of powerful writers in South Asian literature. Say, for
Yes.
example, Nepal, another book comes to my mind of Dhruva Gautam.
Mhm.
It's terrific fiction. It has been very well translated. And Similarly, in Bangladesh, like Temin Anam's book, The Golden Age. But
Mhm.
these books stand alone because the creativity is original, thinking is
Mm,
original. They
mm,
are not thinking about like trying for Nobel Prize. I come from my rural base.
mm. Yes.
Say Orissa. I write also in Oriya. I
Mm,
believe that this writing creates its own taste, own flavor, own
mm.
originality, and reaches out. And South Asia
Okay.
has lots of these writers.
Lots of
Now
them.
I come to nurture them. Like Pratik, he brings out lots of these poets
Mm.
who will not be published otherwise. And this has a
Okay.
global reach.
So do we also get an opportunity to go and connect with Pratik in Nepal?
Of
So,
course,
Mr. Sharma ji, so we'll be then. I think we are here. At least we three can connect for to start with, and we will connect other Asian Literary Society members also, where we can exchange dialogues. So, would you like to say any? You're from the you're from Odisha, Khatwaji.
Yes, yes.
In that flavor, would you like to recite a poem or a short piece that you would? We've got just precisely 6 minutes more. A little poem of yours and
Small,
Mr.
small,
Yes,
four
Sharma's.
lines, four lines I'll read in Oriya.
Yes, yes.
ହାତଟାଏ
Hmm,
ସମୁଦ୍ରକୁ କଲଙ୍କ କରାଏ ଯିଏ ବସା ଆଡ଼େ ଫେରୁଥିବା ପକ୍ଷୀର ଡେଣାରେ ମତେ ପବନର ଗଜଲ ଶୁଣାଏ. Translation is like this.
huh,
I'm touching that hand
hmm,
which will convert the returning waves of the ocean into a bed
hmm.
and will make me listen to the ghazal, to the fluttering wings of the birds. I want to return to my home.
Oh, very lovely. Very nice. And Sharmaji, please, could you recite any of your work as four-liners? We've, we've got precisely now six
all right.
minutes
Okay.
left.
So, I will read this short poem called River. It's the two parts, and it's
Hmm,
when you go in the Himalayas, and you see night and the morning river in two different shapes. First is river morning. Cruel river knows each time I come to brood over her roaring waters. Each time I come to her deafening banks to gleam my dreams over plump flanks of her warm body. Each time I come to pour the last of my life's salt in the ringing gorges of her sonorous frame, a bone breaks in my heart, a bone breaks in my smouldering chest, and a wrinkle appears across the shriveled leaf of my life. This is river morning, and now river at night.
okay.
Dark river, dark river. I cannot see the river. I can only hear its thundering rumble. A water well explodes, enamored in the fleshy clutch of fluffy clouds, making a cave of this gorge. Only fingers of the fireflies illuminate its shape, the wild limbs, as the river fumbles, curled around the hefty thighs of the night to find a wink of sleep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, as we are coming to our end of this program, um, I would like to thank both the esteemed personalities over here for being with me. And as a conclusion, I say, I think education makes all the difference. In the words of Chanakya, I say, education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and the youth, in the words of Chanakya. So, thank you so much for your valuable time. And thank you, dear audience, for being with us and for listening to us. Namaste.
Yes.
Namaste.
Thank
Namaste.
you.